draw is the Bavarian Alps, and naturally, almost everyone who gets to Berchtesgaden makes the long climb up the hill to see the same view that used to give old Adolf Hitler his nightmarish inspirations. They say that this is one of the most beautiful spots in the world. These bombed-out ruins are all that were left of 3 churches. They gave us the chance to do a real job as off-duty ambassadors. It was through this rubble that we deepened understanding between us and the Germans who used to worship in them. We took over this stable, which doesn't look like much now, but watch what happened to it. Plenty of elbow grease was contributed by a big gang who pitched in on their own time to build a memorial to the demolished churches. After the first coat of paint went on the walls, it started to look like something. And after the whole thing was finished, it was something that everyone was proud to have had a hand in. A humble stable had become a friendly chapel in which each could worship his God. It was named the Chapel of the 3 Stones, and it got that name from the fact that the altar was composed of stones from each of the wrecked buildings. The amazing thing about this whole project was the amount of goodwill shown by all concerned. General Hodge summed it up at the dedication.
I congratulate you upon your accomplishment in constructing this house of worship as a symbol of community goodwill and religious tolerance. May it be shared by all, military and civilian, and our German neighbors. It stands here today as a symbol of freedom, tolerance, and peace among men. A stable, the birthplace of Christ, has become a first place of worship for all men.
Perhaps the most vital function of our European training is our role in the integration of the fighting forces of NATO. That's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, composed of 14 countries. War games and combat exercises are being held constantly. Combined maneuvers with units who don't speak the same language call for a lot of careful preparation. Otherwise, things could easily turn out like that story about the Tower of Babel. We're playing a big part in making NATO a worthwhile working proposition. A lot of equipment and personnel are going into the training and support of the armies of smaller countries. The goals of NATO are to prevent war, if possible, by building such strength that any aggressor will hesitate to attack, or if attack does come, to defend Europe until victorious counterblows can be launched. Living and working so close to those long stretches of barbed wire that separate nations of suspicion and fear from those who work in harmony, the importance of the NATO program becomes clear. We're pressing on toward the goal of security for Europe, which so vitally affects the security of all the world. At sundown, retreat, one of the most colorful ceremonies in Army life. It signifies the end of the working day. So ends an average day, with American arms standing as a bulwark of peace and freedom against the threat of war and slavery. Soldier in Europe, part of the greatest peacetime army ever assembled, ready to meet with effectiveness any emergency that might arise.
Yes, our soldiers in Europe are demonstrating their purpose. Maintenance of an unrelenting vigilance and an ability to work in close cooperation with fighting men of other nations in discouraging aggression. This is Sergeant Stuart Queen. Next week, you'll have another chance to see your Army in action on The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the U.S. Army in cooperation with this station. You can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.